Welcome to the Paddle Down Podcast. I'm your host, Kirk Morris, and tonight we have a special guest here, first ever guest on this pod. I'd like to introduce Spencer Pomoty. Spencer, how are you
doing? Doing well, Kirk. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. It's been interesting couple of weeks here. That's for darn sure. As far as with the draft and then with free agency, it's been pretty good, man. It's been pretty good. I got a couple questions here right off the hop. Just tell everybody a little bit about yourself there and how you got into the love of hockey and all that good stuff.
Just like almost any other kid, you watch it on TV with some family members, and it's so fast paced. Like I used to play soccer and that fell out, and then first time skating, I was like, yeah, let's try hockey. So tried that and been stuck with it ever since this age of 9. But the main thing I do is watch the prospects, CHL, mostly WHL. That's my main strength these days.
Right on. So you do you have a particular team, and or do you just watch every team here as it do you go to a lot of Edmonton Oil Kings games?
Yeah, before the pandemic I went to a few more than I could, and then I'm hoping this upcoming season I'm able to go again to even more. Oil Kings are definitely a little hometown bias, but it's just such fun hockey to watch anywhere in the CHL. It's always like sometimes you get touchdown scores and it's awesome.
Lots of scoring, yeah, definitely. And do you have any thoughts there with the Memorial Cup? It's been I guess it's been brought back there thanks to everything open up there again. The last 2 years there, it was shut down due to the pandemic. So did you manage to catch a little bit of the Memorial Cup here this last little while?
Yeah, I'd watch all the Oil Kings games and then the final, but and I'd watch Shawinigan, of course, for Burgo.
Right.
Surprised, actually, St. John won it. I thought the Oil Kings I thought they were the best team entering. Well, the injury to Dylan Gunther really hurt them. That's something that you can't really fix on the go. And I'm just surprised. I thought if it wasn't the Oil Kings, it'd probably be Hamilton, but QMJHL wins it again.
Yeah, and I got a quick thought on that. I follow some gamblers on Twitter, actually, and one guy that's really versed in hockey there, Gabriel Morency, he made a notation there with the Memorial Cup, and he said the Q never gets any love. It seems to be always the WHL or the OHL. And why? I just wanted to ask you quickly here. Do you feel that's the same? Like the Q never gets any love, or do you figure it's spread evenly across the board there as far as when it comes to young junior prospects?
Yeah, I think the Q is on an uprise right now. Whenever I watch them, I think there is a big difference from the OHL and the WHL to the Q. I think it is one of the on the lower end of the leagues, but it's on this uprise where they keep winning these Memorial Cups, and you got people like Dawson Mercer, like Lafreniere, Bolduc getting drafted. There's a lot of good players coming out of it now, so I think it's getting better, but I would still, it's just not very, when I mean football scores, like touchdowns, that's what the Q is about. It's not very defensive, not a very high pressure situations, and little lackadaisical compared to the OHL and the WHL, in my opinion.
Yeah, you see that with I think I used to converse there with SPR, Sean Patrick Ryan, and he talked a lot about the London Knights there, and Dale Hunter and how he runs his team there. It's very, very NHL based. At least that's what he said there at one time. And I'm basically new to watching prospects and all that kind of stuff. And excuse me. And he noted that that Dale Hunter there, the head coach of the London Knights there, he bases his program very much like an NHL program. So yeah.
They're always at the top, London.
Oh yeah. They're always the favorites. I was wondering, like, with this last year with the WHL, with the finals, did you manage to catch the Edmonton Seattle final at all?
Yeah, I was able to watch it online. Couldn't go to any live games, unfortunately, but it was a good finals. Seattle, and it's gonna be crazy because Seattle can come back next year even better, and I think they're gonna be an interesting team to watch. I didn't expect them to get there, and they held their own for what it is. I love Kevin Korchinski on that team. He's a fun one.
Yeah, and definitely.
Oh yeah, it was a good finals, but like the Oil Kings, it's just they have so many first rounders playing in that series. It's so hard to beat them. Yeah. I didn't. What did you think about the Edmonton's first round pick there from the Seattle Thunderbirds? There, Reed. I can't remember his name off the top of my head here. Schaefer.
Reed Schaefer. Sorry. What'd you think about Reed there in his performance?
I like. He amped up his game in the playoffs. He's a big body. He's heavy. He's made for that kind of hockey, especially at the junior level. And he's showing more. Like, what did he have in playoffs? I have it right up here. He stepped it up nicely. He had 21 points, 25 playoff games.
Nice.
Yeah, he played fine. I honestly, I didn't even get the feeling that he was gonna go to the Oilers when I was watching him. And did you feel that he was gonna drop to the second round? I did. When I was watching him, I didn't really look at him as a first round target. I understand why the Oilers did take him though. It makes sense. And if he does work out, he can be a fine middle six contributor. But I think he was more of a day two guy to me, personally. Right. Yeah. Right on. Speaking of the draft, it was no shortage of drama there, that's for sure. What did you think of day one as a whole? Oh, fun. Montreal made that fun. No doubt, man. No doubt. What did you think about them taking Juraj Slafkovsky? That one surprised me. I would have went right. I like Wright a ton. Production's not everything, but like Slafkovsky playing in that league, and when I watched him, he's very good. Like, he was a top 5 player for sure, but I just think there's he's got a big body, so it'll help, but I think he needs a lot of open space to play. So if he can adapt, but he, like I said, he's got the big body, so it helps him adapt more when he does get there. But I thought Wright was slam dunk. You get the center for them. Then, right. I mean, they go out and trade for Kirby Dach, so. Yeah, that was crazy too, man. Like, nobody's seen that coming. And Chicago just selling everybody but Taze and Kane for anything. Yeah, pretty much pennies on the dollar. It doesn't make any sense. You'd think, well, yeah, exactly. You'd figure that they keep 1 or 2 young guys around to kind of mold their actual core. Yeah, it's like, especially the Dak one. He's 29. What was he? He was a 2019 pick, and he hasn't played good till, and they must have just noticed something. It wasn't also different GM, not his guy, so it makes it way easier. But right. third overall pick only a few years later. It's weird.
Yeah, like I don't think even Doc has scratched the surface yet on his potential. Like you said, it wasn't a very good team, and he'll definitely have some opportunity there now in Montreal. That's a that's a no-brainer there.
I think working with St. Louis can have a ton of help with him.
Oh, for sure. Sure. And then and working with Suzuki there too. They're like the 1-2 combo there for down the middle.
Yep, he doesn't have to be the big guy. He can just focus on him.
Yep, pretty much, man. Pretty much. And what did you think of the rest of the Oilers picks? Did you have any idea of what they picked there?
They went off the board for a lot in my mind.
Yeah, definitely the goalie there from Sweden there, Samuel Jansson. I'd never even heard of the kid.
Yeah, he was, but I'm not the best with goalies. He's big and he's young. So he's just gonna, let's see what he turns out to be in 5-6 years.
Right. Yeah, no.
That one and also the Yeviseyev, that one was a different one, but I heard they really like him, and big. He's not big, he's physical, put up some decent numbers in the MHL.
Right.
But like that one was weird. And then Yoel Mata, that's 7th rounder. He's overager. And he plays for Todd Woodcroft. So there's that little Vermont bit of insider information.
Yeah, him and Luca Musenberger there. Yep. He got picked there last year, so pretty much, like as you said, they've got the insider with Woodcroft there, Todd Woodcroft, that is. And I was going to say here, we'll get into the Oiler prospects here now. I've got a few questions about Matvei Petrov, but we'll get to the other ones here first. Out of all like the last 3 to 4 years, they've been really drafting well. At least I've noticed, anyways. And I'm not a huge draft guy. Who do you like most there since Ken Holland's been in charge of the team here and allowing Tyler Wright there, the director of amateur scouting? Who really has caught your eye the most here?
My biggest, I like the Dylan Holloway pick was awesome. I think I didn't get to see him as much in the NCAA, but I liked him from his AJ days. I thought they should have, at the time, I thought they should have taken Amirov, but I liked Holloway. And that's a pick I'm really impressed with. I think he's better than people think he's going to be. I don't see him as a dump and chase kind of guy. I don't see him playing with McLeod and just being this fast in your face line. I see him as this articulate kind of creative. Like I would, right from day one, I'm playing him with Draisaitl. There's like no questions asked. I think he pushes defenses back the way, not like Connor, but he can push defensemen back, and then his playmaking has really come along. And
right.
Yeah, just Draisaitl plays so well with players that can push D back, and then he finds space easily, and he can use his shot. And a little bit off the board, I like the Warner pick as well. I'm starting when that pick went through. I was like, "Who is this guy?" Because WHL, I was like a little bit surprised. I didn't even see him too much.
Right.
And I'm watching him now, and I'm watching his playoff run currently, and he's been an awesome pickup. I think for a 7th rounder, he skates well. He's only 190-ish pounds, but he has a lot of great tendencies of pre-scanning. He doesn't really ever miss like too many passes. It's a consistent tape to tape. He's safe with it though, and he's not afraid. He'll fill a lane in the offensive zone. I think there's something there for him to be a third pairing defenseman, honestly.
Right.
So I've been impressed with him too.
Do you think he'll stay another year in junior, right?
Yeah, I'd like him to. And he was even getting second power play opportunities with Moose Jaw, and Moose Jaw will have a good team again with Furcus, Matejchuk, Jaeger is he's going into his draft year. That will be, and Warner will get every opportunity.
Awesome. Just keeping it in the dub. What do you think of Jake Chason?
Oh, I love him. He was another just great pick at where he was. He's got a good top speed, not overly quick, but he's got a great shot, great finishing ability. He can play in front, down low. Can play in junior right now all 3 forward positions. I like him on the wing, and he's really a good 200-foot player. He'll take care of the zone. He can be your net front guy on the power play. He's playing penalty kill. He's out there with a goal, defending a lead. You can, whatever you really need, Chason can mold, and I think he has a chance to be a pretty good bottom 6 player in the NHL.
So he's more like a very versatile, kind of like a Ryan McLeod.
Yeah, kind of in that sense. He really reminds me of like a Derek Ryan more.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be like that kind of mold, I think. Little quick, annoying, smart though, can play in every situation.
Right on. I know he's been struggling with injuries there, especially like last year there and even into this year, but I don't even have his stats in front of me, unfortunately, but I heard that he had come into his own there this year there once he did get healthy.
Yeah, he was like 18 points in 20 games this year. And then in his drafter, 20 and 23, like it's not like world-class numbers, but that's potential bottom 6. And I think even more, but I think bottom 6 player, and he can push for some time in a few years, maybe when he's around 22, 23. He's a player I'd like to see in the AHL soon. He'll be fun.
Right on. Yeah, no doubt, man. They're cultivating quite the team down there, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. It's going to be good.
So I got to ask you this, because you blurred this out one night there in the group chat here with Heavy Hockey. You said about Matvei Petrov, and just to give a little backstory here, the Oilers took him in the 6th round. I think it was last year's draft. Was it last year's or the year before?
Yep, with Borgo, 21.
Okay, yeah. And everybody was just clamoring about how much of a steal he was. Everybody passed over him. And you were a little bit hesitant to give any praise. And I'd like to ask you, why is that?
I think he's got a lot to get. I think it's a good pick for where it is, but he's very good in isolation. He has very good skills, but when it comes to doing it all together and in a pressurized setting, it's kind of starts to fall apart. And when I was watching this year, it's a lot of time he played with San Jose pick Brandon Coe, who's very good, and Coe does a lot of heavy lifting, good playmaker. And I noticed like Petrov, his main thing is his shot. Like his shot is excellent, and Coe with his playmaking and the Petrov shot, it was such a good combination at that level that I think it was perfect basically for him. It's a good situation, and it's just my one problem is there's a bunch of obstacles he needs to go to get to the next level. And I think it sucks because I think he said he's heading back to the OHL this year.
Yeah, he did say he's going back for one more.
I don't like, it's tough because what kind of ice time would he get in Bakersfield anyways? But like the OHL it doesn't help his bad habits. And I think in the playoffs, it really kind of started to show for him he got dropped down to like the third line. He was still playing first power play, but there's like a few games I'll watch him and like he's missing on passes. There's I like the skill he does have, and I think there's stuff to work with, but I don't know if the team will be willing to go through those obstacles with him. So he's to me is a long shot to make it.
So what you're saying basically is a project once he hits the A, like he's going to be molded for a very long time down in the minors.
Yeah, I would like to see him at least 2-3 years, minimum 2 in the minors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't think that long, but
yeah,
it's almost like a goalie almost.
I think like he's very good, but everything he needs to do, like he slows down, he needs to stop skating to make a pass, or like his shot on the run is great. And when I'm watching, like he's scoring from long range, which it's kind of good, kind of bad. It shows the power, but it also it's junior goalies. They're not the best in the world. Right. And I think just a very good junior player right now and good potential, but a long way to go, a lot to work on, I believe.
Right. And one other Oilers prospect there that was a captain on his team there, Tullio, he's making the jump there to the pros here this year. What do you think about his game?
I love him. I had him in his draft year. I thought he was going to be a second rounder, and then we got him in the fifth.
Fifth round, yeah.
Yeah, I thought second, at least third rounder, and yet fifth, 126. And he's not the fat. He has a decent speed, doesn't get up to gear the quickest. And that's where his problem will come is he struggles to separate himself and buy some time, but he's very good at causing turnovers. When he does have the puck, he can make a good pass, and he has that wicked shot. I like his chances of making it over Petrov, honestly, in a bottom 6 role, because I think his game is suited a bit better for the NHL. But if Petrov ever does make it, he'll be better than Tullio. And
okay.
Yeah, like I think Tullio, he doesn't have as many obstacles to go over. He's when you watch him, you know he's meat and potatoes. He'll go block a shot. He'll go forecheck, back check. He just a very good bottom 6 player I see out of him.
Just a grit grinder, basically. Just if you tell him to go check and go take out somebody, he'll do it for you, no problem.
Yeah, and he can also he can score, and like he made that beautiful play over in the development camp to that big D-man Gansk, who then played it across, I remember. And he's very smart. He can adapt to a lot of situations. It's just the main thing is getting his feet under him and getting him some way to separate from players, because his size, simply, you can't do that.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So you did manage to catch the development cap there footage and the Billy Moore's Cup?
Yeah, I watched the Billy Moore's Cup, and I was wondering the whole time if you were even able to go in person. And I guess you were, so I missed out on that, but I got to watch it on Twitter, so that's fine. Yeah, it was good. I think the actual game itself, like the 3-on-3 and 4-on-4 is fine, but I don't really think that's how you develop players. Like that's more like that's keeping it fun. And they did a lot of work during the week and all that, but it's just, this is the time they're in the game scenario, and I think you should play 5-on-5 that whole time. Like the 3-on-3 and 4-on-4, like they're all NHL prospects. They're all good with space. I wanted them to like Petrov, develop this, what happens when people come at you, or like problem solve, or even be be the problem that they have to solve. And I just like 3-on-3, it's fun. Like Hamlin, you see breakaways, Hamlin was excellent, but I don't think it does any well for the guys itself.
Great, as you said, it's just being, pretty much for fun. They're just kind of like shinny hockey, kind of, sort of.
Yeah. I
got to ask you about Carter Savoy. He's making the jump from college to pro. I was just wondering if you caught any of his championship run there while in the Frozen Four.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. Same problem as always is he needs more separation, some way like Tullio, but Carter is way better with the puck on his stick. And he needs to find a way, because when it starts to ramp up, he starts to disappear a bit. But once he does, like, it was so apparent in the development camp in the Billy Moore's Cup that if you just give him the puck and he has like even an extra second, something good is going to happen. Like, he is a great playmaker, a great shooter, but he just can't find a way to ultimately like pull away from a player if they're under pressure. Mm-hmm. But my favorite part is he doesn't need like 100, like 20 touches of the puck to make something happen. He can just sit in the slot or follow up into the right space and rip a shot home. Like,
nice.
He's intriguing. He's another one where that 2020 draft, it's turned out pretty good. I didn't like Carter in his draft year, but at 100, I liked the potential he could bring with his dynamic skills. But when it's perfect. He's making the jump to pro. He's gonna start to learn what it's like, how to deal with pressure. And even when I was watching the Billy Moore's Cup, he's there on the forecheck. He's getting back. The effort's there. That's not the problem now.
Right on. Yeah, that was the kind of the big knock when he got drafted is, he's kind of lackadaisical there when he was with the Crusaders there in AJHL, and everybody was kind of worried, But it was like that with Ryan McLeod as well. If you remember, like the knock on him wasn't his skating or anything. It was all, he was a perimeter player. I remember people were talking about him, and he can't get into the grease area as well. With the HL being a development league, it certainly, and with having Jay Woodcroft there at the helm to kind of grow his game and look at him now, like he's one of the definite keepers on the team there now for sure. So I looking ahead now, the craziness of the 2022 draft. And looking ahead, I shouldn't say everybody, but there were some people that thought that this year's draft was pretty bad for choices there with prospects and whatnot. But next year, it looks like there's going to be 2 generational players. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower on Michkov than the rest, but Bedard for sure. And I think Adam Fantilli is going to really staple his name into. I think he can push for a top 2 pick for sure for 2.
I've heard about. Sorry to cut you off. I heard about Fantilli and what's the deal on Michkov? I'm just kind of curious now since you mentioned about him.
I think he's a great scorer, and like he's great with the puck and everything, but like the speed is the skating isn't there. He's a little smaller. I'm a little like he shoots everything almost from everywhere, but it's good. And he's got a good skill. I think like lock for top 3, but I do think there could be. I don't think he's as perfect as like a Connor Bedard, and I think the gap between Michkov and Fantilli is smaller than the gap between Bedard and Michkov.
Wow.
To me, yeah.
Okay, so with Fantilli, what do you like about the kid?
He's powerful, good skater, good. Like anytime he's on the ice, it's just something's happening. Like positively, he's getting like he's a 200-foot player. He's playmaker. He's a scorer. It's just he seems almost like he almost has this perfect package. And if it wasn't for Bedard and Michkov, he could easily be like he probably would have went first overall this year.
Oh, okay.
And if he was in the draft, and I'm high on him. I really like him, especially the U18s this year. He was excellent.
Right on. He was playing in the USHL, wasn't he?
Yep, Chicago Steel.
Okay. Did he put up monster numbers there? I'm just asking you because I don't have stats on him there too. But did he was he kind of like the Tour de Force there, like Bedard, or was his numbers okay?
He had 74 points in 54 games. So
okay.
Yeah, but Chicago is a great program. They usually have some of the better players going on in the draft. But yeah, he's heading to Michigan for next season.
Oh, okay, so he is committed. Okay, that was my next question. And actually, I just had a question popped in my head here. I wanted to ask you on the fly. With the U.S. Development program, and then you see like offshoot, not normal, quote unquote, leagues like the USHL. What can you say about them? They're definitely turning heads now, because especially with the national program in the U.S., because they've had brilliant drafts here in the last 4 or 5 years. Am I right? Or
oh yeah, they've started to turn a corner. Definitely, USHL is like even a lot of some Canadian players are opting out. Like Fantilli's an example. Owen Power opted out so they could go down to the States. They're starting because the problem is, I also figure with the CHL and the NHL bargaining agreement, where once they sign out of college, they can just go to the NHL or the AHL.
Okay.
They don't have to go back to junior. And I think people are starting to realize like junior's not going to help you when you're 19 and you're a first round pick.
Right.
So it's like pro hockey's better then. But the US is just starting to do it right. It seems I don't know what it is, but it's that NTDP. They're just ahead of the curve, it seems, on development now.
And did they like why? Just out of curiosity, I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything, but and why are they ahead of the curve? They're just doing everything correct, or if like as far as like the Canadian program, like compared to the US and Canadian programs, like did they steal certain parts from the Canadian program, or how did they get so good so quickly? Is it just population wise, do you figure?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, Hockey Arsenal, and he had a guest on he was the Columbus Blue Jackets development coach, and they were saying that in the early 90s, everything was focused on skating there. And that's where they think they got the upper edge, was they were emphasizing skating before, I don't know, it's not a direct quote, but they were emphasizing skating at a time where it wasn't as important. Yeah, basically. And other than that, I wouldn't know, but it has to be, they know something.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Like was it 2020 or 2019 where they had like an insane amount go in the first round?
Yeah, 2019, the Jack Hughes year.
Right. Yeah, and Spencer Knight and
yeah. All those guys, they were, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a loaded year, that's for sure. And I was going to ask you about free agency and who you wanted, so I'm gonna kind of fix that question here with the Oilers. Since free agency has come and gone now, what do you think about what the Oilers did as far as the signings in your own personal opinion? Did you like what they did with Kane there with the money and all, or what was your take there with free agency?
Yeah, the Kane signing was surprising. I didn't think he'd sign for that because everywhere was saying he wanted way more.
Right.
I like the Kulak's pre-signing was awesome. That was well needed.
Yes, sir.
The Jack Campbell one scares me. I don't really know if he is a massive upgrade. His numbers have been inconsistent to say the least, but when he's on, he is incredible. And I think we're able to get by with the tandem we do have. Right. And I really believe in Skinner now. I think he's going to take a step, be able to play 30 to 40.
Right.
So, and if they're just average, that's all this team needs, honestly. So, and the other, like, our RFAs are still unsigned. The Janmark ones, that's okay. I didn't mind it. It's cheap, fourth liner. He'll hopefully, and he has good PK numbers. I saw his even strength defense is okay. He's not a Cassian anchor, so there's a little bit of a positive.
Right.
Yeah, so right. I'm okay with it so far. I think there's still the D core. I think we still need to tweak around with it. I don't know if like Barry and Bouchard is I don't know if we can do that again.
Right. Right. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about Broberg, and there's a lot of speculation that he'll make the jump this year. What's your take on him?
Yeah, I like him. When watching him with the Condors, he looked great. And he put up good numbers. I think he, like, third pairing, he's ready. I want him to play there on that left side. If I don't see another year of the AHL benefit him too well. I think I think he's ready to make the jump and play. Even in the games, the difference is he comes up and he seems like the confidence isn't there like he is in the AHL. When he comes up, he's more of a passer than a puck carrier, that's okay, but he needs to be more confident in his own, because he can fly. And if he can just carry the puck in transition or make the right pass, I think he's going to be great for us, especially on a third pairing where you can protect him. Right.
Right. My last question to you is, and it's a very according to one journalist there, he's a very polarizing figure there. And I have to ask you about Jesse Puljujärvi. What's your take on him, and where do you see him going this year?
I love him. I think his numbers are great. I think a lot of people miss out on what he's good at, because what he's not good at is when all eyes are on him, is sometimes he can fumble the puck and fall over, but when he's forechecking or back checking, he doesn't give a lot of other options to the other team. He gives them maybe one option, and it's so easy to read, and a player like McDavid or Draisaitl can read it just simply. And I think that's why he has a lot of these good numbers with them, and he keeps pucks out of his net. He is the lowest on our goals against per 60 for the year on the team, including forwards and D-men. I think what we need is more defense than offense at this moment, and any kind of trade right now, you're gonna get fleeced. I don't see you winning one.
Yeah,
because he'll go for a third or something, and you're out looking for somebody like that again.
Yeah, it's funny, you see players like that don't finish. They don't, like, he had a brilliant first half of the season, and then he got injured. Then he had COVID. Then he got injured again. And it's I've talked with this there with the guys on Oilers Live ad nauseum, with finishing. I think I said there during the playoffs, all I want for Festivus is just Jesse to finish. And the next game he got a goal. So I got my wish, but you see, I know the comparisons are there with Val Nikushkin, and it's just, if they give up on him, the real surprising thing is I shouldn't say surprising, but they know, the management knows what they have. It's just, what do you do when you're in a situation like this and you have your window open? Do you stick with him and carry on, hoping that something will click in, or, but as you said, they'll probably get fleeced in a trade. And then I have to totally agree, because nobody's jumped at the chance of taking him,
Yeah.
So.
And it seems like they're dead set on Yamo over him, which I wouldn't personally do for the short term or long term. I love Yamo, but I'm scared of, he's 5'7", he's 160 pounds, and that doesn't matter on the ice, but when he plays such a wrecking ball style where his body it's going to wear down at points, and I think Puljujärvi can only grow. Yep. There's no losing there. I think he's this high potential, even right now he's got a high floor right now. He's a fun, the Foegele, McLeod, Puljujärvi line in the playoffs. They were fine. They weren't giving up anything, and that's all you need. That's all we need. So it's very confusing to me why we would give away somebody who, by every account, just he helps us keep pucks out of the net, and they go in more on the other team. Yeah,
no, it's frustrating there too. You hear rumors from his agent there, he's a top 6 player. Well, maybe try going down a line and then building your game up from there type of deal, and not put so much pressure on yourself to have, that. Yeah, I think his confidence, me personally, I think his confidence is his biggest mark against him right now, just as far as, if he settles his, if he kind of sells his mind down and just focus on one, on the finishing aspect of things, and not try to worry about everything else around him, I think he'll be fine, but
I agree.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just worried that they're, like you said, I think they're going to give him away for free, and just because, but anywho, do you have a Twitter? I know you have a Twitter account, but do you wish to plug whatever you want to plug there? Do you have your own site type of deal? And I'll let you take the floor here right now.
Yeah, just follow me on Twitter at SP Prospects. Talk Oilers. I talk hockey. That's anything basically about hockey. Prospects, mostly Oilers and Oilers prospects, but come chat.
Right on, man. And you do write for heavy hockey here and there, so
of course
I encourage everybody to check out heavyhockey.com. You'll find Spencer and his works there. Spencer, I gotta say, man, for a third podcast here, I'm trying my darndest here and you came on, you're a rock star, so I can't thank you enough, man, for coming on here tonight.
Thanks for having me. I couldn't have done it without you.
Awesome, man. Well, this has been the Pal Down Podcast. I'm your host, Kirk Morris. Thanks for checking it out. We'll talk to you soon.